right? You have to install the software on it. You have to take care of the security patches. You have to monitor them. Any failure, you have to take care of it, right? So later on, it was thought that instead of people taking care of all this infrastructure related problem, let them focus on the business cases, business problem, and let someone, let's a vendor come into the picture who will provision the things for them, right? Will provision all this hardware, all these resources, right? So on a single click, you will have a machine available. You will just click on what configuration you need, and in the backend, all this configuration will be given to you, and that's where cloud come into picture. Now take this analogy to data engineering, right? So data engineering, when you are storing a lot of data, when you are using a framework, be it Hadoop, Spark, or whatever framework you are using, you have to install the required software, you have to configure them, right? And all those things has to be done by the person or by the team or the organization who is executing the project, correct? But with the advent of cloud engineering, be it Azure Data Engineering, be it AWS or GCP, all this logistics and resource related stuff are taken care by them. And not only logistics, it is more than that, right? So you just, for example, you need to configure your storage. You need to have a big storage, right? And you need to store your data in it. Somebody needs to read the data. Somebody needs to process the data. You have to write a logic, how to munch the data, how to get the data in the desired format, right? So what happened? Storage and all this cloud provider comes up with their storage system. For example, Azure gives blob. So you just need to get a subscription to Azure. Azure will provide you a blob storage and you can upload your file, you can download your file and all those stuffs. Amazon comes with S3 bucket, right? You get an Amazon AWS subscription, you can upload and download. You don't need to bother about where exactly the file is going to store, right? The physical machine you don't have to bother about. And also these companies take care of the security as well, right? They will make sure that your data is not accessed by anything, is not unauthenticatedly authorized, unauthenticatedly accessed, right? All those things they are taking care of it. Coming to processing, initially, when we started with the traditional Spark or Hadoop, right? You have to install the Spark component on your machine. You have to make sure when we are talking about cluster computing, I will explain a little bit about cluster computing in my third class, which is on Thursday. And there, there are multiple machines that should behave as a single computer, right? So all the configuration has to happen. The networking has to happen. So all these things you have to take care of it. With the advent of Databricks said that you just focus on writing your Spark code, all this clustering and all Databricks will take care, right? Or this notebook will take care. So basically, this resourcing, logistics stuff, and all those, and something more than that has been taken care by some vendor. You just focus on your logic, and things will move as seamlessly as on on-premises. So that's where your Azure or cloud data engineering comes into picture. Sam, I hope I answered your question, or you still have any further question, you can, raise that.
Sure, but we're gonna learn this Azure cloud and then AWS, all right, in this course.
AWS is not part of this core. This is only Azure. See, what happened is, for example, uh, all these cloud provider, right? They provide the same thing, but with certain flavor of their own. For example, Azure provide, blob or data lake storage. Amazon provide S3, right? Azure provide a data factory, and I think something similar is there in AWS. I'm not able to recall. If anybody's know, can you please tell the name? What is the orchestration tool in AWS? So there is some orchestration tool. I'll get the name. I'm not able. This is not on top of my head at this point.
Glue.
Glue, exactly, right? AWS provide Glue, right? Databricks is there in both Azure and AWS, right? So what happened if you learn one technology, let's say tomorrow you have to go and work in AWS, so you can apply that knowledge, learn the little bit of in and out of that particular technology, and you are good to go. So this particular course is for Azure, right? Will not cover other cloud provider, AWS and GCP. Anything else?
Hi, Subrat. My name is Pani. I joined today. This is my first class, Subrat. I'm an Oracle DBA, but due to nowadays all databases are migrating to cloud technology,
Sorry, I didn't get
I
your
would,
question. Can you please raise your voice a little?
yeah, my name is Pani. I am a Oracle
Yeah, fine.
DBA. Actually, all Oracle databases nowadays moving to cloud environment database also.
Hmm.
So I would like to learn the cloud technology. So is there any relation to this data engineering to my database administration job?
Data engineering and database administration is different, Funny. When you say database administration, your job is mostly provision database, understand the database requirement of a particular application, right? Create the
Yeah.
server, and all those things, right? Data engineering is different from the data engineering is all about the data processing, how a
Okay.
huge amount of data you are processing, right? How
Yeah.
efficiently you are processing, right? So those things will cover in data engineering. Database administration is different than data engineering.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I would like to learn data engineering, so I chose this Azure Data Engineering.
Definitely your knowledge in database administration will come handy because you know about the infrastructure part, you know about the SQL part, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
know how a server configuration works, you know how to provisions machines and all. And I believe as a DBA, you must have some knowledge on the SQL side of it, right?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
all those
Yeah.
things, all those knowledge will come handy while learning data engineering for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so shall we start?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So my idea is first two classes will just cover fundamentals of Python and SQL. Okay. From third class onward, we'll start covering Spark. Okay, we'll understand a little bit of theory of Spark, what is Spark, how internally it works and all. And then we'll start our hands-on on different Spark API. We'll start with data frame. Okay, we'll do a small project. We'll take an open source data set and explore it. That should be our first understanding of Spark data frame API. And from next week onwards, we'll start exploring the other advanced APIs. We'll understand how to write our code efficiently, how to check whether how your job is running, how internally Spark creates the job from your code. All those things we'll understand. Once we have a fundamental idea on our understanding of Spark and the core Spark API is good, then we'll understand the architecture of Databricks. We'll understand what is the how Databricks work, what is the Unity catalog, okay, what all features Databricks provide. Then we'll understand about the Delta Lake, what exactly Delta Lake does. Then we'll move little bit to Azure and understand the storage systems, what exactly different storage system that Azure provides. We'll see how can we, writing a Spark program, by accessing the Azure storage. Okay, how can we read the data which is there in Azure storage in our Databricks code, writing a Spark program? How can we store the data? Okay, then we will move to Synapse. Okay, all these things when I'm talking, we'll take small data set and explore them completely. Right? This is a small project. Then we'll move to Synapse. Okay, in Synapse, we'll understand. So basically, last class people were little confused that how will we integrate Synapse and all in Data Factory. So Synapse actually little bit of confusing in terms of Azure, right? Azure provides Synapse as a complete data analytics environment. So they have everything there. They have server, they have computation resources, they have data orchestration and everything. So we are not going to cover all those things. We'll just cover the dedicated SQL pool of Synapse, which is our data warehouse. So we'll understand what is a dedicated SQL pool of Synapse, how to create table on top of it, how to create external table, how to create internal table, what is Polybase, how to move data from your data frame or Spark to your Synapse. All those things we'll understand. Okay, and then we'll move to Data Factory. In Data Factory, we'll understand that whatever we have learned so far, how to integrate them in a single place, how to write an end-to-end job, starting data from your raw to data move to the final layer, how Data Factory does this, how would you schedule your particular one, how will you schedule your job, okay, how to trigger a particular job, and then if possible, we'll understand little more concept, for example, logic app. For example, if there is a failure, I want to send a mail. How can I configure all those facilities in Data Factory, right? And how do you security? For example, I have a connection string. I want to store them in a key vault, right? How to do that one? All those things will cover. So that's primarily this course structure is going to be, okay, and we'll do lots of hands-on on this, okay. When as and when the needed, we'll cover the theory. Regarding coming about the performance optimization, because any Spark or data engineering interview, the question will arise: how are you? What exactly you are doing to optimize your code, and what kind of challenges you have faced, and how do you resolve it? So we'll understand how to write an efficient Spark code. There are how to read the Spark job, okay. How to understand that your Spark is performing the way or not from the Spark UI itself. When we're talking about Databricks, how to make sure that you are provisioning the cluster which is not shooting your price, how to choose the right cluster in Databricks, okay, when to choose which cluster, okay. These are the optimization part that we'll cover, okay. So with that, let's start from the first class, which is about fundamentals of Python, okay. Any question anybody has?
Yeah, Subrata, Fana here. If you don't mind, can you give me like high-level overview of Azure Data Engineering for 5 minutes? I don't mind. This is my first class. Just I'm giving. I want to just know the data engineer overview. That
Okay. Azure Data Engine. Okay. Are you ever Funny, may I know a little bit about your background? Yes.
yeah, I'm an Oracle database
Oh,
engineer.
sorry. Yeah. So you said Oracle database. Okay.
Yeah,
So Funny, what happened? Are you aware about what exactly ETL is? Extraction Transformation Load.
ETL just actually a layman term like some reporting purpose. ETL tool will be used.
Huh. So what happened was, you have a data available at certain point, right?
Yeah,
And what you do, you need to, there is some raw data available, okay? And there is some upstream application which is producing the raw data. And let's say you want to use that data in a certain format. So, and the first class that we are discussing, right? So, for example, I have my raw data available here. Okay. I have some raw data available here. Okay. And I need my application, or in my organization, there is a requirement that we need to do some reporting on the data. We need to do some machine analysis, machine learning on this data and all that, right? So there is an end user who has certain requirements, either reporting or machine learning, data analysis. They have this requirement, right? These are the end users. Okay, they have their requirement. Now they cannot directly connect to the system and use this, right? And this data might not be in a usable format for them, right? So basically, that's where a data engineer job comes into picture. What they do is they take this data, they pass it to multiple stages. They first get this data to a staging layer, or what we call a bronze layer, right? Take this data as it is from here, right? Once they get the data in the bronze layer, it might be, they might be doing some thing. For example, I don't need all the data that you are producing, right? There might be some filter. I need the data, let's say last 4 months or something, that I get to the bronze layer, correct? Now from that, the data has to be moved. We have to apply some business logic. Let's say, uh, it's an e-commerce data or some sales data which is coming. You need to identify that, the sales over a period of time. Who are the customers? You need to create tables for your customer. You have to create tables for your products from this raw data. So all these things that you do and move the data from this bronze layer to another layer. Let me call it as a silver layer, right? And then finally, in order to use the data, in order to make the data available in the final format so that it can be usable by the end user, we move it to this final layer, right? Or what we call it as a gold layer, right? So the data has to be moved from all this place, the raw layer to this layer, and all this place, right? Right? And finally, these people should be able to consume the data from here, correct? These people should be able to consume from here. Right? There must be some data analyst, there must be some business analyst, machine learning expert. They want to consume the data. So as an ETL tool, as an end user, your job is to establish this particular system, right? So the data can be usable at the end of the day, right? That's where a data engineer or an ETL developer role comes into picture. And it's just not that getting the business logic, writing the data from this to this, because with the advent of distributed computing, the idea is to ETL was there before. Now, what exactly distributed computing is doing? They are doing it to make this process efficiently. You should not this movement of data, this business logic should not be running forever, right? If I need the data every day and you are saying that no, I cannot do it, my job will take at least 2 days to finish, that's not what I'm looking for. You have to figure out something so that my data everyday data reporting is available, correct? So that's where a data engineer job comes into picture, right? And on top of it, as I was explaining, with the advent of cloud, your storage, your processing capability, your data orchestration. When I say data orchestration, so the data moving from here to here, data moving from here to here, this is an everyday place. Let's say this is happening, everyday activity that is happening, right? So in this case, this must be orchestrated somewhere. That the job is running every day and it is going to the final layer and some people are consuming from it. So all these things, configuring this entire system is a part of data engineer, or is it what about data engineering? And then doing it on a cloud platform is what your cloud data engineering is about. And here our cloud platform is going to be Azure, right? So we will understand that how are we consuming the data, how are we storing the data, how the processing logic works, how to write a processing logic using the framework, right? So all these things we are going to learn as part of this. Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Ravi, machine learning comes into this area, data engineering
No,
area.
no, machine learning is after data engineering, right? So data
Ah,
engineering is all about available the data in the required format. Uh, there are once your data is there, there are two kinds of user comes into picture. One who wants to understand how the data is, wants to get some report out of it, and the report could be how my sales, how this particular product is behaving, how this particular customer purchasing this one is. And then machine learning is all about the predictive part of it. That I mean, not always predictive, always futuristic, but
mm,
establish a model so that we can know that how things are going to happen in future. For example, I know the customer behavior over a period of time, and that's where through data engineering from raw data, I'm able to get a format. Machine
yeah,
learning will help me to understand that if the customer behavior is like this, how he is going to behave in future, or how he is going to behave on this particular products. Those are machine
got
learning
it,
part,
got
but
it.
this is not
Yeah,
covered in this course.
yes, yes, perfect, perfect. Thank you, thank you, Ravi.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with Python. Okay. So Python by definition is a high level interpreted programming language known for its simplicity and readability. When we're talking about high level, as you know, there are different types of programming language available. And mostly the Java, Python, C++, what we use are mostly high level programming languages because they are written in plain English that you can understand. But if you come about the bytecode, the machine level, or the intermediate programming languages, those are what we call it intermediate level or low level programming language, right? Most there are programming languages that are written in 0 and 1, which actually the machine understands, but we human cannot understand. Or if we have to understand, we need certain specialization on them, right? So that's where we call it as a high level programming language. Interpreted means, so for example, all the traditional programming languages, right? Your Java, your C sharp, I mean, all these are compiled language. So how it works is, let's say you write some piece of, okay. I think there is an echo happening. I'm able to hear my voice. So what I was telling
There
was,
is name HND. He didn't mute the.
yeah, guys, can you please all mute yourself unless and until you have a question, because otherwise there will be echo.
Sorry. Also, sometimes your voice is also breaking. Maybe could you please unmute? And,
My voice is breaking.
yeah, sometimes. I mean, not frequently, but sometimes.
Yes, Ravi, that is
Let
true.
me. Let me know when, as and when that happens.
Sure.
Okay. So what I was talking about is interpreted, right? So the traditional programming language, most are compiled. When we say compiled, what happens is, let's say I'm writing a code in Java or let's say C Sharp. When we compile the code, it converts into a JVM or a DLL, right? And then you take the code, then you take the package of it and deploy it in different machine. And then from that JVM or the DLL, there is the framework. Yeah, let's say you have installed Java on it, or you have installed .NET on it, or C Sharp on it. That particular framework will read the DLL, convert it to machine understandable language, and then they run it, right? But Python is not like that. Python, you just deploy it as a file. There is no packaging. Whenever there is a packaging, it does not convert to a specific language. For example, your WHL file or what. It is just the files that the system is able to read. So that's what we call interpreted. That interpreting the code that you have written. There is no further conversion happening over here, right? It's known for its simplicity and readability, which is quite obvious. Python supports multiple programming paradigms such as functional, object-oriented, and procedural. So, if you have some understanding, I mean, if you go back to your BTech days, you must have learned C, C++, right? C is a functional programming where entry point be a function, right? Mostly all your total program was divided into multiple functions and procedures, right? Whereas coming to C++, Java and all, they are object-oriented program. Basically, we create class, we create objects and all that. But Python supports both. And as we know, Python is widely used in multiple domains, be it your web development, data science, artificial intelligence, automation, everything. Just name the field and there is Python. So that's why the language is becoming popular day by day. So our idea, as I said, is not to cover Python extensively, but certain things which we might need while covering our PySpark. For example, what is data type? What is conditional statement? What is loop? What is function? A little bit about the map, filter, and lambda functions. So these are the part that we'll cover today. Okay, so let's start. The IDE that we'll use, right? Conventionally, what people use IDE is, for example, somebody use PyCharm. These are the IDEs, or Basic, or your what do you call that? Visual Studio, Eclipse. These are the IDE, but we use a cloud-based IDE, which is your Databricks. So what I need from everyone is you should create a Databricks Community Edition, which is free of cost. Okay. So if you are in front of your system, just do the steps what I am doing. Google, type Databricks Community Edition. Community Edition is a free which provides limited functionality of Databricks, which is good for us to start our learning. Okay. And I will there are certain things which Databricks does not provide. So I will work with Visualpath to get a subscription. If that is a problem, we'll try to show you the other complexities of Databricks through my office laptop, but that's for future. So once you arrive at Databricks, this page, just click on it, Databricks Community Edition. Okay. So if you have, just log in. If somebody has created earlier, so log in. If you do not have, just new to Databricks, go to sign up, you know, fill this detail, uh, provide an email. No, my mail has been taken, so I'm not sure. Give your company name, give title, phone number is not needed. Continue. Okay. No need to go for this one because this is only for 14 days, right? Which will give you all features, but this is only for 14 days. We need it for a longer version. So I'm going for community edition. Just click on the community edition. It will ask you for a mail verification and you are all set. So can we do it right away? It will not take more than 2-3 minutes for everyone. And let me know once everyone has their account set.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Mm, Professional use. Under professional use, there are three options. Which one we are choosing? AWS,
So do not
Microsoft
go for
Azure.
professional use, I would say, because professional use is just for 14 days, right? Beyond that, you cannot do. So just click on get started with community edition.
Okay, without selecting that. Okay.
Don't go for this one. Do not click this one. Just click get started with community edition.
I'm done with it, Subrat.
Good, great. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll explore the ID.
Hi, can you just click on get started with community edition once, because I don't see this option for me.
You are not seeing this option? Get started with community
No,
edition?
I don't see anything called get started with community edition on my system. It
After
might be
you
that
click on
I'm going.
continue, then only it will pop up.
So you are saying that you are not getting this button itself.
Yes, but I haven't entered my details, so I think I should enter my details and then click on continue.
Yeah. I'm not able to do it because I already have an account exist with the email address, right? But if you just create a new user email address, if you have an community edition, good. If you do not have, then you should be able to do it.
We can use it for only 14 days. Is it so?
No, no, no. See, there are two options, right? Do not click on the
Mhm.
first option. Okay, do not go for this one. Test drive
Uh-huh.
full Databricks platform of 14 days. Don't go. When you go for community edition, it tells, right, it's a single node cluster that it will provide you. So that you can use unlimited. That does not have any, period of
Okay.
expiration.
Uh, in
Okay,
this
I hope everybody.
time, yeah, like Python will be used for in data engineering. Exactly where Python will come. Actually, I was thinking that only SQL is sufficient.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me show you something. Instead of answering your question, let me show you a program. Okay, so everybody must have created one account, right?
Yeah.
So this is how a Databricks looks like. Okay, so these things are there, like workspace, okay, catalog, compute. These are the important things of a Databricks environment. A workspace, just think of it as a place where you can create your project place. Let's say, there are users. So what happened in an org level, you create a workspace and you give access to multiple users. So every user will have an account. In my case, this is only my personal one, so I can see only mine. But in an org level, in a professional level, when they create a workspace for a, let's say, a team and all, so whoever users have access, you can or log in, you can see their accounts over here. Now
Yeah.
let's say I have a project, right? And I want to create my workspace, all my notebook inside that. So I need to create my folder and I have to write all my notebooks and code inside that. So that's where the workspace concept comes into picture. It has
Yes.
contains the users part, it has contains the project folder and everything, right?
Mhm.
Databricks has seamless integration with Git. Okay. So
Okay.
let's say you have your Git established. Okay, you can easily integrate Databricks with Git. With Community Edition, Git integration is not there. Let me see. Git integration. Okay, Git is there. So here, once you click on it, okay, Git integration is only database premium plan and plus. So with community, Git integration is not available. So if you have your Git server and everything done, you can integrate your notebook in the Git, and whatever changes you'll do, it will start reflecting. I believe everybody is aware what is a source code repository and what is a Git. If not, just to give you a fundamental understanding, what happen is in an org level, multiple people are working on the same project, right? We need to keep a version of the file that you are working. And that's where a source code repository system comes into picture, which is, and Git is a very popular open source code repository system. So whenever there are change happening across your files and Git maintains different version of it, right? For example, over here, so I started on February 5 and whatever changes I'm making, Databricks is maintaining those versions. So you can keep it, you can maintain the similar thing at Git level. And from Git, whenever you want to deploy your changes from, let's say, dev to your staging environment, staging to prod environment, you can establish your CI/CD pipeline and deploy the changes. That's a little bit about Git. Okay. Coming to the catalog is all about the storage that Databricks provide. So here you can create your table, and this is all about the Databricks file system, right? You can upload your file over here if you want to explore something, and you can access this one and write your code. Okay, you want to store certain things, you can use it. You can store your file. That's just a Databricks file system, and this is the table that we'll be creating, right? Compute is all about the cluster. So whenever you are writing something, you want to execute something, you need some processing capacity. When I'm saying processing capacity, you need some CPU, you need some memory, right? And that's your computing environment or cluster comes into picture, right? So in order to run your program, you need to have a machine at your disposal, which will process your program. So here, this gives you a capability to create your cluster. So you can write whatever compute name you are giving, just select the runtime and start it, right? But right now I already have a cluster running, or let's say you are not creating this one also. While writing your program, automatically Spark gives you, as a Databricks gives you a prompt that whether you want to create a cluster or not, it will eventually create it. Okay, so that's little understanding about the Databricks environment. Now, somebody was asking a question that how much Python we need, because my understanding was more things were SQL. Yes, you are correct. You don't, I mean, things are like without understanding Python or the library also, you will be able to write all your business cases in SQL. So here is a small program that I have done. So I have a file. I just want to read how many times every word occurs. Okay. This is the code that I have written in PySpark. Okay? This is the code that I have written in PySpark. And this is the same code I have written in SQL. Okay. So whatever we are writing in PySpark or Python Spark, we can do the same thing in SQL. But the idea is we need to understand both as a data engineer, because there are companies which have their own standard practices, right? So as you are going for a candidate, you should know both the things, one programming API and one SQL. It is it improves your candidature. It brings good prospect. So that's why I will say understand both the APIs, both data frame as well as your SQL one. Clear? So whatever do stuff we do in data frame, we can almost achieve everything using SQL. That's not a problem, and we'll cover everything Spark, SQL as well as data frame API. But my suggestion is good to get a good understanding of both the APIs. Was that clear?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's start with Python. Okay. So Python, the first thing is data types. Okay. Data type is, okay. So in any programming language, variable, constant, and data types are same. It is there in all the programming languages. So what is a variable? For example, I'm writing something called Visualpath. Okay. This is a constant, right? This value is not going to change. But let's say I'm writing x is equal x. I'm defining something like x, and x I'm writing as visual path. Okay. uh, when I print x, this one. So whenever you do not have a cluster, it will say that attached cluster is terminated. It will ask you to select a resource. Yeah, attach and run. If there is something, it will attach it and run it. So variable means the as thing whose values keeps change. That's why it is variable. So now x is printing visual path. Let me just type Python here and print x. Okay. So X was initially visual path, X now changed to Python. So that's what we call is a variable. There are certain naming convention while declaring a variable. You cannot start your variable name with a number. So for example, I write 123 X, it is not allowed. Let's say I write with some special character, underscore, or let's say at the rate. These things are not allowed. Okay. So these are the certain constant that you have to be reminded of. Okay. Data type is what talks about what kind of data I have, right? Data type, these are the following data types available in Python: string, integer, float, list, tuple, range, dictionary, set, and boolean, right? So all of them indicates what kind of data we are going to use. For example, or text data, we need string, right? For example, I'm writing a message over here, so I need a string, right? If I'm writing any number, let's say salary or somebody's age, right? In that case, I need integer or float. I'm writing decimal number, let's say temperature or salary, I mean money in terms of both rupees and paise. So I'll need a float. List, tuple, range are all collection. So here, usually string, integer, or float data type, you can hold a single variable, single value. But let's say I want to hold multiple values. In this case, I'll go for collection. And everybody has their own type. Boolean is usually to hold true and false. Okay. Now let's cover each and everything one by one. String is basically hold the text type of data. Okay. So here I'm just writing a simple message, hello world, right? And I'm printing it. Right. So just to hold text type of data, you can use string. So let's say I want to do multi-line, right? So something like this. I want to write, well, hello world, and then a separate line for, let's say, welcome to Visualpath. Okay, this is what I have to write. This is very simple. So let me do it like this. Hello world. For a line, just give slash and next welcome to Visualpath. And next, when you print X, will print it in a two different line. Right? That's what your new line. I believe everybody is trying this one, whatever I'm doing, so that
Y-
we'll do it parallelly. Hmm.
You're not giving the data type as string here, right?
Good
Well,
question. Good question. Very good question. Okay. So what happened is Python is implicitly typed. Okay? Python interprets the type uh, from the data that we are giving. So you no need to explicitly provide the data type in Python. Whereas in other programming languages, for example, Java or C Sharp, you have to say what kind of data I'm using. For example, in Java, if I have to write this, I have to write string x is equal to something, right? I have to provide that this is a string data type, but the same is not needed. Python automatically interprets what kind of data I'm writing. So if I just understand what kind of, is it really Python able to understand what kind of data I'm writing? So to know what kind of data is it, you can use a type function. Just see type x, print here. Python will tell that I'm using a string class. Okay. So Python is implicitly typed and not explicitly typed.
so is it optional or we should not give the data type?
It is optional. You can give. That's not a problem. Give str and then
Yes, thank you.
yeah. There is another important utility called help. So at any point of time, you are not sure how a function works. For example, I don't know how the print function will work. Print will simply print a message. I don't know how to print function work. Just type help, click whatever you want to pass, okay, and then it will show you. Okay, print the value. Just give a value. If you want a separator, if you want and all these things, print the values to a string, right? It will give you the details of that particular function or that utility. So help is a very important command. Now, next part is how can we concatenate two string. So for example, I have one name, first name as visuals, last name as path. So somebody let me take any of your name. Why I'm not able to see. Kranti Kumar. Okay, let me take this one. So I have first name as Kranti and I have last name as Kumar, right? So for example, you are getting your data where first name and last name is there and the requirement is display the full name, or in your file itself display the full name. So it's pretty easy. So I can just write another variable, let's say full name, and I can write first name, okay, concatenate last name. And I want to give some space between the first name and last name. So just introduce a little bit of space. Space is nothing but this. Okay. And when I want to print the full name, I get Kranti Kumar. That's what string concatenation is. But string concatenation, apart from string concatenation, string formatting is a very useful thing. String formatting is not only for string concatenation, but to use certain other facilities in string as well. For example, I have to print this message that hello Subrat, welcome to the Azure Data Engineering course offered by Visualpath. or let's say, hello Kranti, welcome to GCP Data Engineering course offered by another institute, let's say Path Visual. So you must have seen, right? For example, there is a registration form comes in, you print all the details, make the payment, and there is a welcome message come that hello this and this, welcome to this one, right? So here, if you see, there are certain person which is very static. Hello, welcome to the, offered by. These are static message across this one, right? Only thing changing is the name of the student, the course that is the offering, and the institute who is offering it. These are the changes happening, but remaining everything is same, right? So instead of me writing all this message every time, can I just create a template for it and just pass this variable, right? That's where string formatting comes into picture. So my message format is pretty much the same, right? Hello XYZ, welcome to the course name and offered by the institute name, right? How can I achieve it using string formatting? So this is how you'll be able to do it. See, I define my message. So instead of XYZ, what I have to do, I have to write the format. How the format is written? Curly braces, curly braces, curly braces. I have three parameters. So usually I pass, start with 0, 1. What are my three parameters? These three variables are my three parameters that I want to pass. How can I pass it? Dot format. So, and the parameter has to be in the same order the way you are doing. So it has to be student name first, because the first parameter is student name, then my course name, then my institute name, right? So let's say I pass value to here, Azure Data Engineering, Visualpath, right? My message is templated. When I write message, I'll get this one. Hello Kranti, welcome to Azure Data Engineering course offered by Visualpath. Tomorrow, if I want to do it for another person, so let's say Ram, welcome to, let's say, GCP Data Engineering offered by Visual. I just need to change my variable. I don't have to change anything in my message, and it will change. Clear? Are we clear on the formatting part? We'll do an
Yeah,
exercise on that.
yeah, it's well.
Cool.
So
I hope
do,
everybody.
yeah,
Huh,
so do you have to use a single inverted comma or double inverted comma for this string data type?
anything is fine. Anything is
In,
fine. You can do it. Python accepts both single as well as double. But do not mix it. And if you start with single, don't end with double. Whatever it has to be uniform. What I'm trying to say is, don't do like this. This is not going to work. Either this or this. Yeah. Okay. So I believe that for few of the people this might be quite basic, that I already know it. These are simple. Yes, I agree to that. But this is for the larger community. Okay, we are covering the basics of programming and how to use this IDE. So please bear with the class. Okay. Is this clear so far?
Yes.
Let's move to the let's move to the next one. Okay. How to find the number of occurrences of a character. Okay. So for example, this is a message I have given. Databricks is Spark on cloud. This is developed by the same people who developed Spark. Okay. Okay. Let's say this is the message, and I want to find how many times Spark has occurred in my program. So there's a very simple function called count. So if you want to understand how this count works, let's just, okay, for some reason count is not okay. It is a string function, that's why it might not be working. So might be I have to do str and see the function. Okay. So for string we have everything. Yeah. Here it talks about the count. Maximum number of occurrence to this is replace function. Let me see count. Count. Yeah. So return the number of non-overlapping occurrences of a substring in the string. Okay. So in the count function, what you have to pass? The substring for which you are interested for a count, right? That you have to provide. So here what I did, I want to search Spark over here. So that's what I did. And it tells me that Spark is there. Now, let's say what is a practical use case of this one? Let's say I want to understand that whether a particular string happens in my is there in my path in my string or not. So for example, let's say you are doing a text analytics. You are reading a lot of messages which are coming from social media platform, let's say Twitter, Facebook and all. And you want to understand whether is my institute or my organization is present or not. So for example, I want to understand if Visualpath is present or not. I'm getting a lot of message. I want to see that whether Visualpath is present or not. So let's say some I got a feed from message from social media. This how good are the courses offered by Visualpath? Okay, there's a feed that I want to understand whether my institute name is present or not. So what I will do, I will check input dot count. I will provide my substring. Okay, and if there is a particular this substring present, then at least the count should be greater than zero, right? To find that my institute is present, I can see how many times the institute name has been occurred in this message, right? This will give me a good idea to analyze the social media feed, right? So that's where this count function or this find function comes into handy. You need to understand that how many times this particular substring has occurred, or if the particular substring is present or not, right? So that's where these functions comes into picture. For example, I want to understand, I just don't want a count. I just need to see whether visual path exists or not. So there is a method, there is a function called find. Just do find and it will give you whether the message exists or not. How does it work? If I do find and visual path, it will give me the occurrence. So 35 is if you start counting 0, 1, 2. So string is nothing but a combination of character, right? And every particular place can be accessed through an index. So and they start with zeroth index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So visual path, it started happening here. So 35 is the index from which it starts, right? That's why I give 35. Let's say I search here something called Microsoft. Is Microsoft present here? No, right? So it
No.
will give you -1. So that's why you will be able to understand whether a particular string exists or not. Anybody was asking something?
Yeah, we were looking at like how many visual path strings are present. I think that's what the count mean is, right?
Count is how many times it present. Find is whether it presents or not.
Ha.
Find will give you the starting index of that particular substring. Count will see how many times the substring has present.
Yeah, yeah, we are attempting count now, so that's what I asked.
So initially I started with count, then I went to find. Sorry for that confusion. I started with
Yeah,
count initially, then I moved to find.
yeah. So, Sprat, like if there is a big file, and in that
Mhm.
big file we want to search whether visual path is present or not. In that case, we have to work on file too, right?
Yeah, so in that case, let's say there are big files and you are processing those big files. So here all this simple, I mean, loading the file in a variable is not going to work, right? What you have to do, that's where your distributed computing comes into picture. The one I was showing you, word count program, right? So you have to load it, to a Spark data frame. Okay.
Mhm.
So here, this is a file. I load it to a Spark data frame, and then I'm applying some Spark function to see if it exists or not. Or similar thing you can type in your SQL once you load it.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. I think we are shifting to other way. Okay, you can continue. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is all about. Then I was talking about the indexing, right? The string comes with an index. So if I have to access what is the length of my string, there is a length function. You can type it here. Okay, there are total 46 characters are there. If I want to access any characters, this starts with 0 to 45. Okay, let's say 7. What is the seventh character of it? Is B, right? This one. Okay. So when I say 7, it starts with 0 index, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where it is. The length was 45, right? Let's say I want to access 45. What it should print?
I think that colon,
Which one?
the
Is
double
there a
colon,
colon in the string?
uh,
This one?
the,
No,
uh,
your double colon is not part of the string, right? Double colon
sorry,
is just to
sorry.
indicate that this is
Then
the string.
maybe H. Then maybe H. Yes. Yes.
Will it print H? Exactly. Good. What if I like do this one?
Then it should be null. Error it should otherwise.
Index out of range. There are 45. I try to access the 46, so index out of range. Clear?
Thank you.
Okay. There are some functions like uppercase and lowercase, right? So I mean, as the name suggests, they are pretty easy to use. So for example, I just took a name. I write it as Visualpath, print upper name, and let me print lower name. Upper is not defined. What is upper then? Dot upper or what it is?
It's name dot up.
Yeah, exactly.
Above also you gave like that variable name dot function. So every time we need to give the variable name, then followed by the function.
Yeah. So the syntax, if I have to write, it should be variable name or function name. There are certain which comes as a that takes parameter. So what when you are writing a function on top of it, right? Whenever you are declaring a string, this is nothing but an instance of your string class, and these are object. These are methods of this particular object, right? So that's why you are writing it object name dot function name. That's typical object oriented programming. Okay, now next come replace. So for example, I have given this particular string and I have to replace the space. Okay, so far, if anybody has any difficulty in understanding, are we good with the flow? Are you able to write the program using this IDE so far what we have learned? Anybody has any challenge, please raise it. These are the starting classes, so we can address that one. Going forward, when we start writing more logic, more complicated programming, things would be a little difficult. So if you have any concern at this point, please raise it. Okay, I will take this as a no. Everybody's okay, fine. So replace your a character with another, or replace a substring with something else. So for example, I want to remove this space. Okay, how the syntax of replace is, right? Replace, okay, your substring to be replace the value that you want to replace and give the new value to it. That's what it is. Now with that, if I want to remove the space over here, how it would be? Let me take a name from the attendee and that person has to answer. So Kishore, can you please mute yourself and tell me how the replace? I want to replace the space in this visual path. I want to write it as visual path without this space. My output is like this. This is the output that I'm looking for. This is the output that I want. How do I do it? This is my input. This is my output. How do I do it? Kishore, are you there? Sam, would you like to try this?
Yeah, but I have no idea.
That's fine. I give you the syntax, right? You have to call which function? Replace function. So let me call the replace function. Replace function takes two parameters. What is the first parameter? The substring that I want to replace. So here, what is that I want to replace? Here, what is that I want to replace? What is that I want to get rid of?
Space.
Yes.
Space, right? So what should be my parameter? A space. How to write a space? Simply like this. Okay. What is the second parameter? The new value that I want in place of this value. I do not want any space. There's an empty. Clear? And this is what my output is going to be. Let me print it. Clear on this? Okay. There's a
Yeah,
small
yeah,
exercise. Let's try this one. Let's say we define a variable called Microsoft Technologies India. Okay. I define a variable, company name is, and I want everyone to try this one. Microsoft Technologies India. Okay. You want to check if there is a comma exists in it. Okay. And the final output is without comma and space. This is what I'm looking for. Right? And okay, I want to remove all the spaces here. So just I'm giving you 2 minutes. Just write your code and put it on the chart. Understood? This is my input. I want to write it in this way. So let me post it in chat. What is the input and what is the output that I'm looking for? Please, guys, give it an attempt. Wrong, right, doesn't matter.
I'm able to remove the space, but again,
Mm-hmm.
for comma, how can we give the second value? Can I use dot replace again?
Yes, you can.
I guess we can use the comma and colon comma also.
Colon, comma. What is colon? Where exactly
Uh,
is this
uh,
colon here?
no. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to provide two values, so we can separate with
Mm-hmm.
comma.
Can you write your code and post it here?
Yeah. I'm actually attending on mobile.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So just tell me. I will write it over here the way you want. So how should I start?
Uh, company name dot replace
Comp name dot replace.
and inverted commas, double or single,
Mm-hmm. I'm giving
uh,
space. Okay.
space,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and comma,
Uh-huh.
like, without space now,
Yeah. Okay.
and add another bracket.
Another bracket here.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Three brackets are there.
no, there should be a comma in between in one of them. Yeah, after this maybe. No. After the bracket. Yeah, there should be open bracket and close bracket.
Okay. So in replace, you are passing two parameters like that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So let's see how this works. See, replace has self, the old, the new, and the number of times you want to occur, right? That's what the parameter that replace takes. So after break, so if you see the syntax of replace, we are not matching it with it, right? Can you see
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
So what we have to do? Any function on string give you another string. So for example, if I'm writing this, moving this one, this thing will give me another string. Right? Company dot replace is nothing but a string only. So, and the replace function is a function on string variable. So I can write another replace here. This is a
Mhm.
string, and when applying a string, the output is another string, right? You
Yeah.
want to double check.
Yeah, that is working. It can write the replace multiple times.
Right? It is a string, right?
Mhm.
So on string, I can write another replace. In my first replace, I do what? I did it for space. Second replace, I can do it for comma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, clear everyone? Okay, numeric is pretty straightforward. I mean, you just take numbers, you do all the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all that. So based upon, for example, these are two strings. Okay, this is integer. Let's say I did division, div result, x by y. What should this give me? The division result should give me. What is the type? We divide. Takes you float because 10 by 3 it calculates till decimal, and that for any matter it calculates till decimal, and that's why it gives us a float. Okay, if you want you can convert it to an integer. Okay, and then just retain the integral part, integer part of it. So for example, so div result when without conversion was giving 3.33333, right? And when I convert it to 3, it just gives the integer part, doesn't ignore the decimal part, the fractional part, right? That is called casting. You cast from one type to other type. Okay. Now we learn something about formatting, right? So for example, there are two numbers given to me, number one and number two, and I have to print a result saying that addition of two numbers is this. So your input is, let's say, num1, which is something, num2 is 20, and then I want to print a message, output message, that addition of 10 and 20 is 30. So can you do this one using the string format that we learned earlier? Can somebody try it? We learned something called formatting, right? How to pass a parameter to a string. Yeah, this is what it is. This is the key to solve this problem.
Yeah, Subrat, sorry to interrupt. We completed with replace function.
Yeah, we completed
There
with
are,
the replace function.
is it so? Can you go up? Actually, I was trying, but I didn't came back to see the screen. Okay, okay.
Okay,
So
this is what it is. Yeah,
okay, so you update two times replace. Okay.
yeah. So I told you, right? Replace function, the output of the replace is another string. Replace we are applying on a string variable, right? When we apply replace on a string variable, the output is another string. So I can again apply a replace function on top of it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry
Okay,
for interruption.
no issues. So can somebody try this one and post it in the chat? Or you don't want to give it a try? Yeah, somebody has done it. Very good. Vishwa. Okay. Yeah. Addition of 0 and 1 is format num1, num2. Fine. This is what it is going to be. So we need this one, addition of this, which is what? The first parameter. This is what? my my second parameter, and this is my third parameter. Then I will apply a format on top of it. What is the value of the first one? Num1. The value of the second one? Num2. Third one is num1 plus num2. Also, you can do result. You can define a third parameter and do num1 plus num2. And instead of passing this, you can pass a result. And you can print the output message. Okay. Sorry. This will be next two. Okay. Here, everyone. Next, you go for collection. Okay. So these, so far what we discuss, right? String, integer, float, these kinds of these kinds of data type contains only a single value. Okay. But what if we need multiple values? So for example, I want to capture marks of the students. Okay. Or let's say names of students. Okay. I need a list for it, right? So it is a list of string that I need. So for example, I'll put Kranti, put Vishwa, I'll put Chandu, I'll put Sam. Okay. So if I want multiple values, there comes a list into picture. Let's say I need marks. So it should be, right? That's how it is. So when you need a collection of values, you go for a list. Okay. Lists are mutable. Mutable as in I can change the value of a list. Okay. How can I access individual element is through indexing. So for example, I want to access 20 here. 20 is the first index because the index starts with 0. This is my 0 index. This is my first index. So if I want to access marks 20, what I have to do is marks, then first index. Okay. 20 is what it is, right? Let's say I want to change the first index to, let's say 15. So what shall I do? Marks 1. I will change it to 15. Again, if I want to print, so that's what called mutability. Mutability means something that can change, right? There are other collection, for example, your set or tuple, you cannot change them. So when we go through them, we will understand, right? Now let's say I want to add a new element to the list. Add a new element to the list. Okay. So here there is a method called append. Okay. So you have to pass your list name, which is marks dot append. I want to add a new mark to it. Let's say I put 40. And if I want to print marks, I can see, oh, sorry, 40 was already there. The 40 is added twice. Fine. If you want to add 50, it will add. So list is mutable. It can hold duplicate elements. Okay. Range is another type of collection where you can mention that you want a number in a specific range. For example, I need, so let's first see how range works. Okay. Range takes stop, start, and the step. What do you mean by step is between the start and the stop, what is the length or interval that I want to give? So for example, I need 0 to 10. Okay. So let me define print range 0 to 10. If work database. So it prints 0 to 9. Why? Because we are telling that 10 is my stopping point. So whatever you want, you have to give one more to it because that's your stopping point, right? Let's say 0 to 10, but I want to print all the even numbers, or let's say I want to print with an interval of 2. So set your interval here. You can see only 0 to 468. Right? That's what range comes into picture. I'm not going into details of these collections because in PySpark programming, while creating the data frame, we'll have a section where we'll learn that how to create a data frame out of this individual list. So that is the reason I'm covering them. We'll not need them in detail. So I'm just giving you the what exactly individual collections are. Any questions so far? Are you able to understand what we are discussing? Or if you have any problem, let me know. We need to change the way.
Yeah, it is good. Subra.
Okay. So this class, I understand this is going a little slow because it's the first class. People have doubts and all, and we are understanding the environment for the first time. So that's why we are going a little slow, but subsequently we'll pick up the pace. Okay.
Yeah, so but
Tuples.
I'm completely new. That's why it look like I feel like you are going really fast. I can't even catch
Oh,
it.
you feel like I'm going faster?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So no, because Sam, see, the thing is that these concepts are not we are it is just an introduction of the IDE and the programming language, right? Once we start learning the core Spark framework and all, we'll cover things in detail, right? As this is a refresher, I don't want to spend a lot of time in it and give less time to the core part of it. But still, if any point of time we are not able to understand anything, stop me. So far, what we have learned, do you have any challenge or you find something which are not able to understand, or you did not understand anything that we have covered so far?
Um, no, like everything is good, but because I'm not familiar with this um, Python, so not
Okay.
it would
So,
but
Sam, what I will suggest is I will share this notebook with you. Okay,
yes,
go
that
through
would be
this
perfect.
notebook. Along with that, there is this resource. Let me type W3 School Python. Okay. So here things are covered in depth. Okay, you just you can skip the polymorphism class objects. Just come through this array. Okay, and here also this gives an option to do hands-on. Okay, if you are familiar with W3 School's environment, then you might be knowing it, right? So just read from here, try your hands-on, and then you'll get an understanding, right? Go through this notebook that I am writing and also go through this resource.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
So I hope this recording will
Yes.
be available after this class so that we can
Yes.
go through
Yes.
the
Yes.
recording.
Yes. 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 This recording, this notebook, everything will be available.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Sam. Or
Yeah. What's
anybody for
the
that
duration
matter.
of this class?
Sorry.
What is the duration of this class?
This class was intended for 1 hour, so ideally it should be finished by 9 o'clock. But as there's the first class, we spend a lot of time in introduction and all, so I'm just stretching it a little bit just to cover a few more things. Okay, I just give you a little bit about range and tuple, and then I'll end it. Otherwise, mostly by 9:15 we'll end this class. Okay, the class duration is supposed to be 1 hour. But just I just don't want to spend a lot of time on list and sorry Python and SQL. I just want to finish them by tomorrow and start the course Spark from the third day onward. So that's why I'm taking a little more time.
No problem, Subrat. I think we are ready to spend more time.
Cool, cool. Okay. So tuple, in contrast to list, tuple is immutable. When I say immutable, you cannot change a tuple. So for example, let me give an input. Same thing, what I'm writing as a name, right? Instead of putting them in a list, let me put it in a tuple, right? Tuple basically doesn't start with a square bracket, but with a regular bracket. What do you call it? Moon bracket or something, right? What do you call this bracket? Not able to recollect. Whatever it is. Let me put this name here. Or let me take this mark because that's where we made the change. You can take anything. You can take anything. Let me do this one. Let me try to change something. Input. Let's see, 1. What is that? What it will print? Input 1. Same as list it is.
20 to
Who can tell?
20.
20.
Okay. Sam, is it clear? Now let me change it to 25. Okay. Now I'm printing. Tuple object does not support item assignment. Tuple is immutable. You cannot change the value. So tuple and list, where when to go what? Because when you need something static, when you are not going to, when you are sure that the value is not going to change over a period of, the list is not going to change over a period of time, then you go for tuple. When you know that you are going to, change the value, any value is going to change, then go for list. Right, over the period or in your program, let's say you know that this value or something is going to change, then go for list. Otherwise, go for tuple. Okay.
Okay, that means like input is equals to list we have tried, right? In the tuple and example. So if I want
Input.
changes in this, then
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
like actually I want to make changes in the like input string like
Change is not allowed, right? In tuple, change is not allowed. If you want change, you have to convert it to a list and then make the change.
can you do that? That I'm asking that can you convert into the list
Okay,
there
okay,
itself?
okay. See if this conversion is working or not. Sam, what mistake I did here?
In,
No, no, Sam.
In
This
input, you
question is
have
for
given
Sam.
a break.
Sam, are you there?
Yes.
What mistake I did here?
You use the tuple there.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to change a tuple. Input is a tuple. Input converted is a list, right? If I have to change, I have to do this, right? And then see. Got it?
Yeah.
thank you.
So
And so we have to uh, use the list in the second line.
uh,
So in
second line.
order to change, then we have to make the like input converted is equals to list. We have to use
List,
the
yeah.
list.
This is called conversion. I convert a tuple to a list,
Uh, then
right?
only we can
And then
apply
I
the
was able
change.
to make, sorry,
Then only we can apply the change.
then only you will be applied to change because tuple is immutable. You cannot change the tuple, but list is mutable. So if you want to make it mutable, convert it to a list and then do your changes.
Okay, so by looking at the statement like input equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, we cannot say that whether it is tuple or list.
Yes, you can say that.
That means
Let,
if there is a
let
list,
me
means
print
definitely
input.
list comes into.
Let me print that one. Are you able to see which one is a tuple, which one is a list?
Yeah.
Yes. Square bracket is tuple and
Exactly.
from the list.
How else I can identify? How else I can identify that input is a list and input converted, input is a tuple and input converted is a list? I'm using that function quite some time in this program.
Type
How can I
function.
identify? Exactly, type function, right? Print type input. base tuple. Clear?
Yeah, print type input. Okay, thank you for this. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Next part is dictionary. We'll just cover a little bit of dictionary and just close today's class. The idea is to cover everything, but okay, fine, no issues. We'll stage a little bit from for tomorrow also. So dictionary is a collection which takes data in key value pair, right? So when I say key value pair, something like a key, okay, let's say key one and then value one, okay, key two, value two, okay. So what kind of use case you can see where I can store a key value? Very simple use case. Where exactly you see that we can use a dictionary or a store data in a key value pair? Come on,
Salary
let
of
me
each
take.
person.
Very good. So let me take salary. So what is my key and what is my value? Key
Key is
should be my
going to
employee name,
be name.
right?
Yes.
So let's say EMP1. I mean, I'm not putting any name for the timing. And salary, let's say 10,000. Then employee 2, salary, let's say 20,000, like this. And if I have to access the salary of employee 1, how to do it? Salary, give the employee for, give the key value, basically. If you want to access anything from the dictionary, give the key value. There you'll be able to.
Salary spelling is wrong in the last
Oh, okay, sorry. There is one more error I did. Dictionary takes curly braces. The dictionary takes curly braces. 10,000. That's how it will come, right? Okay. If I want to read all the keys of a dictionary, there is something called keys. Okay. So salary dot keys will give me whatever keys are available. If I want to read values, salary dot values will read me all the values which are available, right? So sometime you have a requirement, you are given a dictionary, and let's say you want to find you want to check whether a particular employee exists and then find his salary, then you can use this one. Okay. You just loop through the key. So when we go for looping, right, we'll understand how to loop through individual elements. You are not going to read one by one, right, through that index and all. So you have to loop. When we loop through, you have to go through individual elements over here. So that's why when we go through loop, we will get to understand how a looping works in a list. Okay.
Subrat, one thing. Uh,
Huh.
can you like tell me like how where to use this simple braces and square braces?
Curly
Like you
braces and all. Okay.
confused
Yeah.
actually. You
Okay. Whenever you are going for list, use square bracket. Whenever you are going for tuple, use this plain bracket. What we call it? A
okay,
circular
yeah, yeah.
bracket or something, right?
Hmm.
When you go for dictionary, use curly braces.
Like
Clear?
you printed like salary in the dictionary.
Acha, acha, acha. Okay. That's what.
Uh,
I got it. So this is basically indexing that we are doing. Every indexing is square bracket. When we're trying to, for example, in list also, when I was trying in tuple or in list, when I was trying to access an individual element, they are called index, right? This is your zeroth index, this is first index, this is
hmm.
third index, this is fourth index. Here also,
Got
this
it.
is my zeroth element, this is my second element. So when you want to access individual element, go for square bracket. But
Best.
when you're defining the collection based upon what kind of collection you want, you have to determine your bracket or parenthesis.
Thanks. Thanks.
Clear? So with this, I'm ending today's class. Tomorrow we'll finish the remaining part and we'll start with SQL. So I'll provide you this notebook. So see how this notebook would be useful. So for example, if you want to give this notebook to someone, then export it to a path. Let's say DBC archive. You can use any path. Okay. When you say DBC archive, it will download it in a DBC format. So where is my download? Okay, this is how the DBC file will appear. Okay, this is what I will be sharing. And if I want to upload it in my workspace, I have to go here. Let's say I have to go to this one. Okay, here I want to upload it. So go for an import, browse the file that you want to upload, click this one, import it. Okay, you have the notebook available. So that's how you can use a notebook that I'll be sharing with you. Clear? So you have the
Yeah.
recording, you have the notebook and this resource Python tutorial, just go through it. Tomorrow we'll discuss little more about the Python fundamentals and then we'll move to SQL. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Uh, any questions anybody has? You have any concern regarding the way of teaching you want to change? Just let me know.
Yes, but once we, what are the Python commands you executed, we will execute, and if any doubts, we will reach you. So this is the first time, so it is a bit difficult to
Uh,
understand.
Mhm.
Subrat, if possible, I mean, if most people are familiar in SQL, can we, I mean, invest more time on Python tomorrow as well?
Yes, we'll first cover more time in Python only because we'll just cover dictionary, right? We'll cover set, we'll go through conditional statement, how if-else condition work, how looping works, how while loop, while for loop we'll do some exercise on it. Then we'll understand how to do a user-defined function, lambda and all that. So are you
Oh,
guys think that we don't need SQL, a refresher class on SQL? Is it what majority of the student want?
No, we need it. I need it
Need it.
actually,
Sure, no
but
problem. We'll cover it. We'll cover it. We can stretch it for one more day, not a problem. But
how
yeah, we'll cover
how
all these
long
things in Python.
how long it will this course will last for?
40
Like a month?
classes. 40 classes. 40 classes is the plan. But if we could not cover what we have planned for, then we might stretch it for a few more classes. I'm open for that. So because
Yes.
it is a huge this one, right? We have to cover a lot of things. So if I show you the the course curriculum, there are a lot of stuffs that we have to cover. And I don't want to leave anything because end of the day you should be comfortable facing an interview or working on a project. Even Python and SQL are not part of this course, but I thought we should do it because it will first give an idea about how to use the Databricks environment and how to write simple coding, right? Once we move to PySpark, the coding would be little different. It will be little trickier. So let's start with some simpler stuff and then we'll move to some trickier. That's what my idea was.
Yes. Because I don't mind to take like 60, 70 classes. So I want to learn, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, brother.
So class will be in 5 days in a week, right?
I'm so sorry.
So class will be in 5 days in a week.
5 days in a week. That's correct.
So from tomorrow it will be in the morning time, right?
Tomorrow, today, I mean, the same timing will continue.
Oh, oh, not. I thought it's they are sending like tomorrow 8 a.m. It's not 8 a.m. then.
Today we start at 8 a.m., right?
It's 8 a.m. IST.
Oh,
Ah,
oh,
okay,
oh, oh,
okay.
8 a.m.
You are
IST. Okay, okay.
okay. Okay. You are joining from US, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Okay. 8 a.m. IST. Yes.
So people are. I thought all people are joining from USA, or no?
No, 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 no. I don't think so.
Oh, oh, okay.
We have a lot of with the majority of the audience from India, I believe.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, okay, got it,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Or are we going to get the recordings?
Anyone from the Visualpath, can you please tell when the recording would be available, and I will share the notebook as well.
So you want us to create a group in something, or
I can create a shared path in Google Drive and share it over there, but I believe it's a proprietor. It should be a proprietor of Visualpath. And so let me do one thing. Let me coordinate with them,
yeah,
okay? And I will share the resources. The recording would be anywhere available with them. I will share them the resources, and
yeah.
they will communicate with you.
Okay, sure.
I
Thank you
was
very
thinking
much.
if I can upload the file over here. Anybody knows how can I upload at least the notebook over here? I'm just not finding any option, or it is not available in the web format. But I will share it with the Visualpath team. They will share with you. Okay.
I just share my email if you want to share with this file to my email.
Sam, it will be really difficult to consolidate all the emails and then send, right? So what I will do is I will share it with the Visualpath team and they will do it.
Okay.
I will try to make sure that they will do it by today itself, all the resources.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, shall we set up our Git and then clone your?
Okay. Somebody was asking about consistent on double quote and single quote. Okay. My idea was to give you a feel that you can use single quote and double quote interchangeably. There is no hard and fast rule in Python, right? Someone asked, right, which one we should use. So that's why I was use it without any restriction. And that's Subrat, right? Not something.
Uh, yeah, this is something. Sorry, Subrat, you were asking something.
No. Somebody has sent
I
me
mean,
a
he commented to my query or
okay.
Python code, but I was using a single quotes to replace that. So maybe it is a misunderstand from him.
Okay. Okay, fine then. If you are clear, if you do not have any questions, let end the class here. I will share the resources with the Visualpath team and ask them to share with you. Fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.